So I wanted to share with you one of our latest publication, which is on tempered radicalism as an approach to revisiting indigenous forms of critical human resource development. I published this with Dr. Emmanuel Safo of Washington State University Extension, and we published it in the European Journal of Training and Development. The purpose of the study was to present a conceptual framework to guide the design, development, and implementation and evaluation of education and human resource development efforts in Ghana. The paper draws on the concept of a tempered radical approach to provide framework for a critical HRD and explore ways by which this view can contribute to developing human resource who possess the requisite tools and character to function efficiently in the 21st century and beyond. We followed a multidisciplinary integrated literature review approach. The paper also reviewed relevant models and theories that align with the goals of this research to provide a broader view of the problems with HRD in Ghana and to help develop a framework that seeks to provide a sustainable guide to those involved in human resource development activities in Ghana. Our main findings were that a positive outcome from the synergistic alignment between modern science and indigenous ecological knowledge, moderated by the principles of critical human resource development, will result in economic growth and development. Human resource development's contribution to economic growth and development and its consequential benefit to the actors will depend on how best critical HRD goals are accomplished. The main practical implications of the study is the mediating role of the tempered radicalism. The mediating role of the tempered radicalism will help modify the swiftness with which education and HRD programs are executed in Ghana. And this paper presented I should say, presented the tempered radicalism approach as a quintessential model for education and HRD initiatives in Ghana. The application of tempered radicalism in HRD literature is novel. We believe we have brought together the concept of tempered radicalism into the main stream of HRD literature. Some of the conclusions from our study is the history of HRD in Ghana has its roots in the pre-colonial era. The indigenous people placed a high value on kin inheritance, said that indigenous workforce development effort focused mainly on what is called the consanguinity-like principle. In most cases, people will train their kin to take over from them as they age or when they die. But with the appearance of Europeans on the Ghanaian soil occasioned a new era in workforce development where indigenous forms of HRD were eventually vitiated with a new approach that uses the Western epistemology to educating, training, and developing human resources. Even though this new approach presented some benefits, there have been challenges because of its emphasis on Western epistemology with little or no attention to the indigenous ecological knowledge. The success of the Industrial Revolution and the presence of huge capital in the Western world present a completely different HR needs than that of a developing country such as Ghana. Most Ghanaian-owned businesses will be classified as small-scale businesses in giant economies such as the USA. Therefore, they cannot generate the capital needed to create adequate jobs for the people who receive Western-styled education and training. And this phenomenon has partly contributed to the ever-increasing unemployment rates in Ghana. Government focus on infrastructural development, which has seen little progress to date. They believe that the indigenous forms of HRD are anachronistic, and the waning economy has made it difficult for the public sector to create new jobs for new graduates. Many interventions and educational reform programs based on the recommendations of the International Monetary Fund, United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, the World Bank, and other international organizations have been implemented with little success. Notable among them are the Structural Adjustment Program in the 1980s, the F-Cube in the 1990s, the National Education Reform, Growth and Poverty Reduction Strategy 2006 to 2009. Ironically, none of these interventions have achieved the intended goals at satisfactory levels. So in our view, these programs fail to achieve the intended outcomes because they are built on a Western epistemological and methodical consideration with little attention to the indigenous forms that espouse the values and beliefs of the beneficiaries. We recommend the use of a social justice-like approach to HRD. Critical HRD concepts we've espoused in the paper to ensure equity and a steady socioeconomic growth and development for optimum benefit to the local communities. Efficient use of local resources, employability, inclusiveness, ethical orientation, emotional control, and contextualization principles underline the concepts we've proposed in this paper. And we finally reiterate the need for more in-depth knowledge of the indigenous history, politics, local strategies used over time to develop human resources, emotional control, ethical orientation, and contextualization as key to the successful implementation of edification and HRD programs in Ghana. The tempered radicalism approach to change, which serves as the mediator in our synergistic alignment, is instrumental in this effort. And we think you enjoy reading this article. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact any of us. Thank you.